Welcome to Sunday Night Spookies, a podcast dedicated to exploring the mysterious and the spooky unknown. My name is Lex.
And I'm Sarah.
And this is episode 0, where we're going to tell you a little bit about ourselves and what you can expect from this podcast.
So this podcast is going to be all about the paranormal. We plan to have 2 episodes a month where they're topic episodes. So we talk about anything paranormal, like the Fae or cryptozoology or communicating with spirit, like anything that could be classed as paranormal, spooky, mysterious, any of that. And then at least 1 episode a month is going to be an on location. So where that basically is where we're going to go to a haunted location, we're going to do an investigation, and then the podcast episode is going to be a recap on that investigation. And we can insert clips of audio, we can post little clips of video on our social media and stuff so you guys get to see it. And then the plan is for one of the episodes a month is going to be an investigation of my house. I live in a pretty haunted house and the activity is always changing. So we thought it would be pretty cool to include an episode like that, and we can keep track of what goes on in my weird house. Yeah. So you're probably wondering who we are. So we're going to tell you a little bit about ourselves, what got us interested in the paranormal, how we became friends and started doing it together, just so you kind of know who we are. So Lex, you want to start?
Yeah, so my name is Lex or Alexis. Either one is fine with me. I am a 26-year-old law student. My partner and I have 2 dogs, Barbara Legs and Arthur Legs. I started getting interested in the paranormal when I was a kid, when Ghost Whisperer was on. I think it was on every Wednesday or every Thursday. I don't remember which, but my mom and dad, we would just sit on the couch and watch Ghost Whisperer every single week religiously. And then every Saturday morning, my mom would watch The Most Haunted show, which no one really remembers that.
That's what me and my mom watched all the time.
Lady.
Yep.
I don't know what her real name was.
Me either.
But the British lady would go to castles and they would do investigations. Was it real? I don't know. But
I remember watching that and A Haunting. I watched that constantly.
I don't know that I ever watched that.
I watched it all the time.
Oh, and Ghost Adventures.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if we're allowed to, name specific shows, but Ghost Adventures.
Yeah. As kooky as it is, it's entertainment.
Zach Bagans is a mood.
Oh, yeah. What a dude.
What about you, Sarah?
My name is Sarah. I'm 23. I'm married to a wonderful man named Austin. We have 2 dogs, a pit bull and a German Shepherd Husky. One's an old lady and one's a freaking spaz. And then I have a cat named Sushi, who's probably a reincarnate of a demon. Guy's an asshole.
Absolutely.
We picked him up off the street one day. We found him in a bush. So he's not very appreciative of us saving his life.
I feel like that's how you found me.
Yeah. Yeah, in a bush on the side of the road.
I'm a charity case.
Aren't we all, really? I kind of got into the paranormal because my friend was really interested in it. Shout out to Nicole Briggs if she ever listens to this. She was my bestest friend growing up. We did everything together. And it kind of started with the computer game I Spy Spooky Mansion, which is, I would buy it today and play it. It was such a cool little game that we used to play. And then ever since then, we started anything that was spooky or paranormal or Halloween. It was that's what we wanted to do. And then watching shows with my mom growing up. And then when I moved to the house I live in now, because I had roommates when I first moved in here. And then when it was just me and my husband and we started moving furniture and getting settled, now that the roommates were gone, stuff started happening. And at that point, I started working with you. That's how we met. Mm-hmm. And I think I just started talking about it one day. And you're like, man, that's cool. Yeah, I'm really into that.
I love spooky shit.
It just kind of happened.
Yeah. My own paranormal experiences, I think, are relatively limited for me personally. My family has had a lot of paranormal experiences. It's kind of like an unspoken truth that people in my family can like see ghosts.
And you're kind of sensitive anyway.
Yeah, I get severely watery eyes.
Whenever, like, because we'd done investigations before.
Like prior to the podcast.
Prior to the podcast. And anytime anything starts happening or we get stuff like on the spirit box or whatever, your eyes start just flowing.
And it's not like I'm crying. It's not an emotion that I'm feeling. It's just that they water.
Which I think is really cool.
But that's kind of it for me. I think I've like seen shadows, but sometimes it could be the trick of the light. I don't know.
Yeah.
But my family, I have an uncle who has seen like a man in a suit in his upstairs of his house walking back and forth. So they think that's kind of residual.
Yeah.
My cousin Steffi, I don't know if I'm supposed to say her name. What's up, Steph? Like when my grandma was dying, she saw like full-on figures around my grandma's deathbed. So that's kind of terrifying. Creepy. And then there's like, I don't want to call it a rumor, but everyone kind of knows about a lady who lives in the house that my grandma used to live in. And I guess my aunt saw her, and my grandma knew about her being there because she would change the thermostat and like go in the bathroom and make noises.
That's so freaky. Like, was it like a reoccurring thing?
Apparently.
Damn.
She was always changing the thermostat.
Jacking up my bill, lady. Leave it alone.
She was turning it down. Who knows? Who knows what was happening? But I guess she would mess with the thermostat, and they just kind of knew she was there.
Damn. My family is like pretty religious, so the stuff is like kind of out of the realm.
Taboo.
Yeah, like my mom's really cool. Shout out to Tina. She'll be listening to this. Love you, Mom.
Right.
But she was always like down for like I used to live up north, and there was this like abandoned ghost town almost. Like there wasn't really buildings there. You could see like the foundations of buildings from like the 1800s. But it's like back in the woods. And she agreed one night to take me and my friend Nicole at like 3 a.m. to try to find this place. And we ended up getting stuck and had to walk like 4 miles, like because it was muddy. And so it was a whole night. My mom's always down for anything. So she was more supportive with like the paranormal stuff than anybody else. But most of the rest of my family is like, no, that's not real. That's not. Mm-hmm. No. But I've always been into it.
Day one,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Always.
Because it's the unknown. Like, I need to know. I think that bugs me.
Well, it's interesting because it's not proven.
Yeah, and we haven't found anything that can prove it yet.
And it's frustrating because ghosts are real, man.
Ghosts are real. Ugh.
Like, it's like frustrating because there's so much evidence, but none of it is concrete.
None of it, no.
And even if something is unexplained, it's unexplainable.
It still happens.
It could still not be paranormal, but it still could be.
Yeah, unexplainable.
It's
like there could be some scientific reason for all this shit, but we're not that advanced yet. We don't know.
Yeah. Here's the thing.
Maybe we're just dumb. And we're chasing after things that are science-based.
I feel like ghosts are real until we prove they're not. You know what I'm saying?
Guilty until proven otherwise.
That's what I'm saying. They're real until somebody can prove to me that they're not real.
Yeah.
Because how do you explain EVPs?
True that.
How do you explain video footage?
Yeah. Or the
camera footage. I just don't.
It's a trick of the light. There was a bug in the lens.
Pass.
Yeah, I think first of all, we started this podcast because we bought a spirit box.
Yes.
And the first night that we tested it out, we recorded it just because it was kind of loud and we were having a hard time hearing it. And so we're like, well, we can just record it and listen back to it later. And we ended up like, man, we got some good voice for podcasts. It'd be a good idea. We're kind of conceited a little bit.
Yep.
And now that we're listening to ourselves, we're like, shit.
Why do we sound terrible?
Yeah.
Why do our voices sound like that?
Sound terrible.
But we decided to go ahead with the podcast anyway.
Yeah.
So you might be wondering why we call it Sunday Night Spookies.
We've always done anything spooky on Sunday, which is kind of weird, but you've always had Sundays off, and then my husband, who works nights, goes in, like his week starts Sunday night. So I would take him to work, and then you would come over, and we would do like an investigation or, you know, what have you. Mm-hmm. And so we were thinking about doing the podcast. We're like, oh, well, we call it Sunday Night Spookies. Like, that's what we were calling it. Like,
Are we doing spookies this weekend?
Yeah, and even my mom would be like, how'd your spookies go this weekend? Or like, people knew it as that.
Yep.
So we're like, perfect name for a podcast.
Yep, we did it.
We did it.
Yeah, so with all that being said, we just want to throw a little disclaimer out there. We'll probably insert it into every episode, but we just want you guys to know that we're not professionals by any means.
Yeah.
What we do might not work for you, and what you choose to do might not work for us.
Yeah, and we, like, it took us a while to find a
comfort
groove. Yeah. In doing all of this stuff.
And we've talked to quote-unquote professionals.
Yeah.
And kind of gotten some advice and a clear path to go through for us, and that seems to be working for us.
Yeah, and take everything with a grain of salt. Even some of the topics we're going to discuss. Again, nothing that we're going to research is like concrete evidence proven by science. A lot of this stuff we're doing our own research for, so if we get something wrong, just kindly let us know through our social media, and we can correct it, or we can credit, you know, certain sources, and we're going to try to do our best to be accurate and respectful.
Yeah, and if you have information that's different than ours, then definitely share it with us. We want to hear it.
Yeah, because if we're sharing like misinformation, we want that to be corrected, because we want people to know about this stuff, and we want them to know the right way, you know.
So we know this was like an absurdly short episode, but we really wanted to get our introductions out of the way and kind of let you know who you're dealing with on a weekly basis, but also to give you a rundown of what to expect from us.
Yeah, and just to recap, we plan no like concrete promises yet. We plan to do 4 episodes a month, 2 of those being a topic episode, 1 of them being a My House investigation, and then the last one being a spooky on location recap. And all of these episodes will be uploaded Sunday nights at 7 p.m. And you can follow us on all of our social media. Get in contact with us.
Yep, you can follow us on Twitter at Sunday Spookies, and on Instagram at Sunday Night Spookies, and on Facebook.
Yeah, we got
Sunday Night Spookies.
Yeah, I think the page is like Sunday Night Spookies podcast or something.
Sure.
Basically Sunday Night Spookies.
Yeah, just look for our spooky glamour shots.
Oh yeah.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Sunday Night Spookies.
Join us next week for our first topic episode where we talk about the Fae.
New episodes are released every Sunday night at 7 p.m. Thanks for listening, and as always,
stay spooky.